at ease.
Okay, let's get this started.
Well, first, I'd just like to say how grateful I am that you guys all came and to see some familiar faces again. That's great, and new faces. But the opportunity to be able to express, as you all know, how grateful I am to you and all those that go back to Generation 1. We all share something. Oh, the Generation 1 fans. Yeah, my heart out to you. We're all the same. All right, now we get on with the question.
Yes, sir. What is your question? Quickly, when is your next convention appearance? When and where? And then also, I have real quick. What would Optimus Prime say to Eeyore if they were having? So the question is, what would Optimus Prime say to Eeyore?
Well, hello, Eeyore. Yeah, that's my name. Why are you so down? Well, I'm not down. I'm just not kind of up. Well, what's your name? My name is Eeyore. What's yours? My name is Optimus Prime.
All right, we have a question right over here. Yes, sir. I'll hold mine.
All right. Mr. Cullen, I'm one of those Generation 1 fans of yours. I just want you to say the most famous line in the movie, if you know what that is. One shall stand, one shall fall. Just one for me, please.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
I'm coming to the front right over here. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is Travis. I flew from Pennsylvania to come here. So first off, thank you for doing this. This was on my bucket list. And thank you for other characters. In addition to Eeyore and Optimus, I've listened to your voice in cartoons all over the place. My question is kind of in reference to a guest appearance you did on a cartoon called Megas XLR. If anyone here has seen it, watch it. He plays a bad guy. So in reference to that, and if this has happened, I apologize, Transformer fans. Would you play an evil Optimus in an alternate reality, where like the Autobots are the bad guys and the Decepticons are the good guys, and Optimus is evil?
Evil Optimus, yes or no?
Well, yeah, Optimus has been in situations where he hasn't actually been himself. And he's had to regain composure and come back to who he is. He was capable of losing his temper, flying off the handle, and in some cases, you know, causing injury to innocent people, but it wasn't the real Optimus, you know. I mean, there were in his brain. So he is quite capable of having a electronic dysfunction of some kind. You may see that someday. But would I do it willingly? You know, no. I would find great difficulty in trying to stray away for any length of time without the basic principles of what Optimus stands for. And, I believe in those above anything else, so without getting into a whole spiel about that, I hope that answers your question.
I'll get to you here in the front, sir, but first there's a super fan among us who really has been dying to ask a question of Mr. Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen. It's this guy right here, Nick Sanchez. I'm sure you have a question that you want to ask. Go ahead.
Actually, I was going to kind of piggyback off that question. We've seen Optimus change a bit. Well, I mean, perhaps. I think over the last 30 years, Optimus has kind of changed somewhat in character, in a sense of Well, I guess going more towards the movies, but where he's, for example, shooting in humans, you know, like for the new movie where he's kind of trying to protect Mark Wahlberg and stuff. Or even when he goes after Megatron and finishes him off. Do you feel that Optimus has changed at all? Or do you think that it's evolving?
That's an interesting question. Of course, I have no idea what the Transformer Age of Extinction, I haven't seen it yet. It comes out next week. Really? He seems to know more about it than I do. Whether or not Optimus is capable of all those things, you'll have to stay tuned and see for yourself. But has he changed over the years? Certainly Generation 1 indicates that, you know, going from a Kenworth to a Peterbilt is a major change. And we even go to further than that in the, you know, the recent truck transformations, if I may. But, you know, I look at that and say, you know, if you're going to transform into something, why does it have to stay the same? You can take an automobile into a chop shop and, you know, a perfectly classical automobile and come out with a hot rod. It's just a matter of metal on metal and, you know, bending and twisting and et cetera, et cetera. So I think conceivably there's going to be changes, there's going to be new weaponry, and anything else that these great imaginative people come up with. It doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me. You know, what are we going to see next? You know, the sword of freedom, wow. The sword of judgment. You know, we're going to see a lot of things change. Oh, hopefully everybody likes them. I mean, hope I like it. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir, what is your question?
Dylan Bullander, Mr. Cullen.
Sir?
Quick question, is there a certain voice artist that you feel you have the best dynamic with? I mean, we heard you as Ironhide, Avenger, and Optimus Prime, obviously, over the years, as well as Eeyore, but is there someone that you feel you've had the best rapport with in the studio, or how it's come across either in a movie or a television show?
Well, there's, without question, I think Optimus Prime is the quintessential success story behind that. He translates over, you know, all ages, from children all the way up to guys, you know, our age and, well, not my age, but nonetheless, the answer would be, yeah, I think Optimus Prime overall, he's had the most generous influence on me. His ability to relate to all those people in different ways is ultimately the most important experiences that I've ever had, and certainly in my career. I don't think any other voice that I've accomplished has accomplished anything like Optimus has. But Optimus isn't really me, it's who wrote him and who was responsible for making him come out of me. So that's most important to me. It's a very, very mystical, spiritual thing, you know, to me.
We have another question over here. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Douglas Everett. My question is actually kind of a two-part. For one, how does it feel to be a character like that is so influential to so many people? And do you ever have your Kurt Cobain moment where you tire of, I don't know if it would, but if I could be classified as your greatest, you know, achievement? Do you ever just get tired of Optimus Prime and are like, oh God, I wish somebody would just say Voltron or Eeyore?
The second part of your question, absolutely not. I've never tired of doing him. Based upon the first part, question answer would be because when I discovered the success and the influence that Optimus Prime has had over the many years, and how many lives he's influenced, changed for the better in many cases. I'm humbled by it. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to know that in my life I've been able to do something that has accomplished such a positive end result in individual cases, not only to be able to know that there's a satisfied audience out there that have partook in Generation 1 cartoons all the way through the movies, but we're genuinely entertained by it. There's a great sense of satisfaction, which gives you a sense of joy, of happiness that you've accomplished something in your life in your later stage. Let's face it, I never knew of the success of Transformers Generation 1 when I was doing it. Nobody did. And I was young then. But we were not privy to fan mail. We didn't have the internet. And, we didn't even have cell phones. So no one had an idea. You did not have a temperature gauge to determine, how hot or cold you were. And to be a little more inside with that, when I was bumped off as Optimus in '86 in the animated film, I concluded, because I had no idea what the audience responses were of him, I thought I was being axed because I sucked. That's the way they got rid of soap opera stars back in those days. They just killed them off.
There you go.
Some haggard, nasty witch, I think, what's her name? She's getting really cranky on the set. She's causing people a lot of problems. Bump her off in the next film. Well, that's pretty much what I would think, about how they got rid of you in those days, and make room for other characters, fine. But the year I discovered, it was at a PodCon somewhere in Rochester, New York, and that's where I became appraised of his success and how much he meant to a lot of people. I was stunned by that. And it took me by surprise. And it was a very humbling experience that has continued to this day. I was never taken for granted. And I know I've answered your question, but it's also an opportunity for me to tell you that there's not a day that goes by that I'm not involved in Transformers that I would think or take it lightly. And I will fight for his integrity and his values. And I have, and I will continue to.
Cool.